written this, that order of energy of subshells for single electron system and for multi-electron system, right? Let me just add a new page here. That is 21 October, and today is what? Today is Thursday. Yeah. Get this full screen. I hope that you have revised a few things, because that particular formula NSN-2 Fn-1 d NP, that is an important formula. Okay, so before the class, what I always suggest is that read the previous lecture before the class. Read the previous lecture before the class. And in your case, it is very good that you have chemistry class on Tuesday, then on Thursday again. You don't have a very long gap, right? So that's better. Okay, now let us write the next topic, which is types of orbital in different structure. Types of orbitals in different subshells. We will start with the s orbit, S subshell. Okay, we'll start with the S subshell. Please write the first point is the S subshell. S subshell. Now in S subshell, Shoaib, you will tell me what is the azimuthal quantum number for S subshell? What is the value of L for S subshell? What is the value of L?
0.
Yeah, very good. 0. Now, if it is 0, M will be equal to minus L to plus L. And this will give me what? And this will also give me just 0, right? So M is equal to 0. That means M has only one value. Hence, S subshell has only one orbital. That is S orbital. Okay, that is S orbital. So what is important with the S orbital is the shape. Okay, the shape. So the shape is spherical. Okay, the shape is spherical. Please write S orbital. S orbital is spherically symmetrical in shape. What does this mean? It means that electron density is equal in all directions. Now, if the electron density is equal in all directions, it means that a particular subshell or a particular orbital is non-directional in nature. It is non-directional in nature. S orbital is non-directional in nature. That means it treats all the direction equally, right? We say that he does not have any bias. Okay, there is no discrimination, non-discriminatory. Similarly, here, what is S orbital? It is not discriminating with any of the directions, either X, Y, or Z. That is why we say that it is non-directional in nature. The electron density is not present in any particular direction. It is present equally in all the directions, X, Y, and Z directions, right? That is why we say that S orbital is non-directional in nature. This particular point, that S orbital is non-directional in nature, it will be helpful in the chapter 4, that is chemical bonding. So please write these points regarding the S subshell. If you want to make a, you can make this also. Okay, so conventionally it is taken as that this is X, and this is usually taken as Y, and this is taken as Z. Okay, you must have learned some different way in your lower standards, but this is the way of mathematics, how they usually take the x, y, and z axes. Okay. Complete this. Let me know when you're done. Let me know, guys, when you are done writing. Shoaib and Abdul Wahid, okay? Let me know when you're done. Okay, Abdul Wahid is done. Okay, Shoaib is also done. Okay. So this was pretty simple regarding the S subshell. Okay. Now, what information you already have are these informations, right? And M has only one value, hence S subshell will have one orbital. The similar thing we will do in the P subshell also. So please now in your head start thinking about quantum numbers. Okay, start thinking about quantum numbers. Please write the second. We'll study about the P subshell. Okay, in P subshell, what is the value of L here? Shoaib? Yes, Shoaib, what is the value of L?
0 and 1.
In no. Can you please go to azimuthal quantum number where I have taught? Can you please flip some pages? Shoaib, this is very crucial. This is very crucial. No, keep your mic on. Keep your mic on.
1, sir, 1.
Yeah. What do you think, Abdul Wahid? What is the value of L for P subshell in the chat? Yes, Abdul Wahid, correct. Very good. Yes, Shoaib, did you get azimuthal quantum number?
Not.
It will be just a few pages back. Maybe if you have a very small copy and you have written, you have a very large kind of font in handwriting, then it may have.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
you got
sir,
it now?
it's 1.
1, right? So you get that very clear, okay? Now this is very crucial. Why? Because it will be coming once again and again till the 12th standard, okay? That is why I stress this point very much and I take these quantum numbers very slowly. Now, if any student has any doubt somewhere, if any confusion is there, they may clear it in the same class, okay? L is equal to 1, very good. L is equal to 1. Now, please be on that page and tell me what will be the value of M. It will be minus L to plus L, right? So what are the values? It will be minus 1, 0,
Plus 1.
plus 1. So how many values of M here? How many values of M?
3.
3 values. So how many orbitals? 3 orbitals, right? M has 3 values Hence, p subshell has 3 orbitals. That is, now this is how nature works. Nature wants to do everything in symmetry, right? In symmetry. That is why we have 3 orbitals. Hence, we will have all these 3 orbitals will be oriented in different directions. So we will have a px, we will have a py, and we will have a pz. Okay, py, px, py, and pz. Right. Now let us look at the shapes here. Px, because it is an x-axis. Okay, this is the y-axis. This is the z-axis. Similarly, you can make the py. This is x-axis. This is y-axis. This is z-axis. See, py. This will be pz. Now, have you guys written the above points? Yes or no? Yes, Shoaib? Did you write the above points?
Yes. Okay.
Yes, okay. Now, as we can see that the px, the py, and the pz, all these 3 orbitals, they have electron density in a certain direction, right? So px has electron density only at x-axis. This has electron density only at y-axis. This has electron density only at the z-axis. Okay, only at the z-axis. And by this we can say that the p orbitals, or rather we can say that the 3 p orbitals are directional. That means they have the electron density at some particular axis. Okay, you want to scroll up here. Okay. Now, there is one more point that we can write here. As we can see that the p orbitals, they are not different in the shapes, right? All of them are dumbbell shape. They are not different in shape. They just differ in the orientation or in which direction they are oriented. And when I say they are only different in the orientation, but their shape, their size, all these are same, that means their energy will also be same, or also be same, but they will have different orientation. And these type of orbitals are known as degenerate orbitals. Okay, so please write this. The three p orbitals have same shape, size, and energy. Have same shape, size, and energy, but they only differ in the orientation of electron density. Of electron density. Okay, this sort of orbitals are known as degenerate orbitals. Are known as degenerate orbitals. This is an important term. You can get MCQs. Okay, you can get MCQs from here. How? There will be a question. Let us say, for example, you will be asked, which of the following is true for degenerate orbitals? Degenerate orbitals differ in shape, size, energy, orientation. Send the answer in chat for this question. Which of the following is true for degenerate orbitals? Abdul Wahid, I have just written the three p orbitals have same shape, size, and energy. How can you do this now? Please concentrate. Please pay attention, Abdul Wahid. Which of the following is true for the degenerate orbital? Degenerate orbital differs in, do they differ in shape? No, they don't. In size? No, they don't. In energy? No, they don't. But in orientation? Yeah. In orientation, they do differ. Okay. Okay. So I guess you have written about the p orbitals also, right? Now write about d orbitals, d subshell. The d subshell, L is equal to how much? L is equal to how much? Can both of you send the answer in chat? L is equal to how much? Yes, correct, Abdul Wahid. L is equal to 2. M will be equal to -2, -1, 0, +1, and +2. +1 and +2, right? Now, after this, we can write that M has 5 values, and hence D subshell also has 5 orbitals. Also has 5 orbitals. Now, D also has how many orbitals? 5 orbitals. Now, please write this fast. Okay. Please write these 3 points. Then I have to show you the d orbitals. The Shoaib is done. Abdul Wahid. Okay. Now write d orbitals, the d. So there are 2 kinds of d orbitals. Okay. There are 2 kinds of d orbitals. One, you have axial d orbital. The other we have non-axial d orbital. Non-axial d orbital. Now here we have the lobes. Okay, what are the lobes? For example, you have the p orbital like this. So this one is one lobe. This is the other lobe. Okay, so these are the lobes. Lobes means wherever the electron density is present. Okay, wherever the electron density is present, that is the lobes. In axial d orbitals, as the name suggests, lobes lie on the axis. Okay, lie on the axis. What will happen in non-axial? Lobes lie between the axis. Okay, lobes lie between the axes. Now, for the axial d orbitals, we have 2. Let us see them. Okay, so this is the x-axis. This is the y-axis. This is the electron density. Okay, this is the electron density. The electron density. Now, similarly, we have one more. Since here we have the electron density. Okay, let me write the other one. We will write the names. This is the x-axis here. This is the z-axis here. Okay, this can be x and y, anything. This orbital here, this is known as d z square. This is known as d x square minus y square. Now there are three more. Let me just zoom out a bit. Non-axial ones, we have three. They are somewhat like this. They may seem that they have a smaller electron density, but it's not like that. It's just that I cannot draw it everything perfectly same. But there will be four lobes like this. Okay. Now, if we have the lobes between the x and y axis, these are known as dxy. These are known as dxy. Okay, what I can do is, let me make this properly. But I have to just make once for dxy. No, it's not very much better, but still, I think it can work. Just change the name. So this is, let us say, this is y-axis, this is the z-axis. So this will be d, yz. This is x-axis and this is the z-axis, and this will be d, xz. Okay. So these are the three, and as you can see that the electron density, it is where it is between the axis, and here we have the electron density on the axis. Okay, we have the lobes on the axis. The names are important. Okay, you have to memorize the name. That is easy. See, you have, whenever you get the square means whenever you have square means on that axis. Okay, if you have any axis square, that means the lobes will be on that axis. But if you have axis to the power 1, that means they will be between the axes. The lobes will be between those axes. Okay. For example, as you can see, x square and y square, lobes will be on x and y. Dz square, the lobes will be on x and, sorry, the lobes will be on z. Now, what is this thing here? This thing is a circular ring type of electron density. That electron density is present on both the x and y plane. But most of the electron density in this particular dz square is present in the z orbital. Okay, in the z orbital. Please write this. Let me know if you're done. Complete this. Let me know when you're done. You can write some more points. Electron density. At x and y. Electron density at the z-axis. Electron density between x and y. Here it is between y and z. Here it is between x and z. Write this down. Let me know when you are done. Okay, both are done. I saw your hand raised. Faib, are you done? Yes. Okay. What about Abdul Wahid? Are you done? Okay, Abdul Wahid seems he's writing. Okay, both are done. So let me zoom. Last point, please write last point. All 5 d orbitals. All 5 d orbitals are degenerate. That is, they have same energy. That is, they have same energy. Now write a question. Also, one more point we can write now. All the d5, all the 5 d orbitals are directional in nature. All 5 d orbitals are directional in nature. Now write a question. Which of the following orbitals say is or are, right? Anything can happen here.
Sir, can you go a little up?
Okay, yeah, sure. You are done, right? Shreyas?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Now
sir.
you can see the question, right? Send the answers in chat. No answers still? Okay, one answer. Okay, got it. Yes, Shoaib, correct. Abdul Wahid, are you confused? Okay, what part of the question do you don't understand? Are you confused between some options? Directional? Please read everywhere I have written for s orbital, p orbital, and d orbital, and then you have to make a pattern there. Read the notes, you will get the answer. In s orbital only we started directional and non-directional in nature. Please pay attention, Abdul Wahid. Read the s orbital, you will get the answer. P orbital, any of the orbitals, if you start reading them, you will get the answer. Let me know if you don't find the answer in the s orbital topic. Okay, you have just done the s orbital. Let me know if you read that and you could not find the answer, or I mean, if also if you read p orbital or d orbital and you don't find the answer. Okay, I'm waiting for you. Yes, very good. You got the answer right. It was in the notes. Yes or no? Tell me. Yeah. Okay. So please pay attention, Anna. Pay attention. You will get all the answers from the notes only. Okay. Now, what I also want you to do is that whenever you are reading any topics then now what I'm doing, I'm making some MCQs question right after the topic is finished, right? So whenever you read something, back of your mind, you should be thinking about what questions can be made in the MCQ style if you're reading some theory. Now, for objective type numericals you can do in NCERT also, right? But from the text, if they start asking statements, that's a bad news, right? Because you don't have a particular set of MCQs that can be made, right? Any MCQs can be made, any type of MCQs can be made. It has a, I mean, the options are huge for MCQs. Okay, for numericals, it is bit constant what they can ask from the first chapter. They can ask for molarity, mole fraction, mass percentage. They can ask for stoichiometry. They can ask for molecular formula, empirical formula. That's it. But when they come to the theory part, now when they start asking questions about the theory part, then it becomes a bit difficult because one cannot tell you all the questions that can be made. from the theory, but whatever will come, it will be from those notes only. You will have to start extracting from the notes. Okay, in 11th and 12th standard, it's not that you have back questions. As in 10th standard, you have the back questions of the NCERT. At the end of the chapters, you do them and that's it. No, questions will come from the inside the text and inside the notes also. Okay, so whenever you get to read some theory, please try to extract some kind of questions from there. Okay, extract some kind of questions from there. Now, after you have done reading the text, then you get the MCQs as test, right? On Sundays, you have test now, MCQs. So that is also a training which is going on for the MCQs examination that you will have. So term 1 examination will be MCQ for both of you, right? Yes, Shoaib, term 1 will be MCQ?
Yes, sir.
Yes, and most probably
It
in
already
12th standard.
started.
It has started. Okay, when is chemistry?
Yes.
When is chemistry?
Chemistry.
Okay, sir, whenever it is. And also in 12th standard, you will most probably have the term 1 examination. The pattern is shifting towards MCQ. Okay, the format is shifting towards MCQ. Okay, now let us write.
So twist the
learned only one rule till now, that is N plus L rule. Now we will learn about the Pauli's exclusion principle. Okay, so we are learning about electronic configuration. Please remember that. Okay, we are learning about electronic configuration. Apply Pauli's exclusion principle. Okay, did my voice break somewhere? Is it lagging?
No, sir.
Or is it fine? Shoaib, not lagging? Okay. Right, Pauli's exclusion principle. Pauli's exclusion principle. Now, statement is very simple, but more important than the statement is the result that we get from Pauli's exclusion principle. What it says that, please write with me, no two electron can have no two electrons can have same set of all 4 quantum numbers. Right? They cannot have no two electron can have same set of all 4 quantum numbers, right? That means that each electron has a specific quantum number. It is like a unique identity for that electron. It is a unique identity for that electron. Now what we will do, we will start with the, okay, what we will do, we will start with, let us say, the helium. Okay, the helium is the smallest, right? Helium is the smallest. We'll start with helium. So helium has a nucleus like this. Now it has only one shell. You must have learned at least this much from the 10th standard, that it has one shell and there are 2 electrons in it. Okay, there are how many electrons? There are 2 electrons. So let us say this is 1 electron and this is the other electron. Okay, so I have specifically taken 2 different colors for the electrons. Why? Because we will calculate all the quantum numbers for this electron and also for this electron. For this electron, the principal quantum number will be equal to 1 because it is in the first shell. Here also, the principal quantum number will be equal to 1 because it is in the first shell. Now, if it is in the first shell, the only possible value for azimuthal quantum number, or L, is equal to what? 0, and that is why it is in the S subshell. Now here also the AQN will be equal to 0 and it will be present in the S subshell. Does anyone has any problem till now? Shoaib, Abdul Wahid, any doubts till now regarding these 2 electrons? The quantum numbers? No. Okay. Now the next we will go to magnetic quantum number. Okay, magnetic quantum number. So whenever the L value is 0, so the magnetic quantum number will also be 0. Okay, if you are not, this is N. This is the L. This is the M, which will be equal to 0. Okay, minus L2 plus L, which will be equal to 0. Here also, the magnetic quantum number, or as we say that M will be equal to 0. Right? The M will be equal to 0. But now till here, all the three quantum numbers are same, but the last quantum number, spin quantum number, that we say as S, for this, if it is plus half, this particular electron cannot have plus half now. What it can have only is minus half. Spin quantum number, or as we call as S, will be equal to how much? It will be equal to minus half. So you understand, right? If you have spin quantum number as plus 1, the other electron in the same orbital cannot have one more plus half. It can only have minus half, right? It can only have minus half. So that is why we say that no two electrons can have same set of all four quantum numbers. The three quantum numbers can be same, but the last will always differ. Okay, last will always differ. You will have at least one quantum number which is different, but you can have more similar, right? Three can be similar, one can be different. But you may also get some cases in which all four are different, right? You can also get in which all four are different. Now, so we have written both the things. I hope you have written the principal quantum, Pauli's exclusion principle. Now I am okay. Let me just get this a bit above so that I can have some space. Write it down and write a note. It's very important note. Now this also explains that why only two electrons can be present in a particular orbital. This principle. This also explains that an orbital. So which orbital? The S orbital, right? M is equal to 0. This is one orbital. That explains that an orbital can contain only two electrons with opposite spin. That means if it is top spin, this will be down spin. If it is plus half, this will be minus half. Okay, this also explains that an orbital can contain only two electrons with opposite spin. Why opposite spin? Because electrons are present in same spin. If electrons are present in same spin, then what will happen? Then repulsion between them will be higher. Then the repulsion between them will be higher. What will happen? And stability will decrease. So please write this down. Raise your hand if you're done. Raise your hand if you're done. Okay.
Okay, Shoaib is done, waiting for Abdul Wahid. Abdul Wahid is also done.
Now, right next. Maximum multiplicity. Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity. Now, this also explains, for example, if I have got the p orbital, we know that there are the p subshell has 3 orbital, right? So how do we fill 6 electron in that p orbital? How do we fill the 6 electron in p orbital? Because we know that p subshell can have how many? 6 electrons. So each orbital will have 2 electrons. So how will we fill that? Okay, how will we fill that? So the rule says that pairing of electron does not take place until each orbital is occupied okay, wait a second. I should write singly occupied is singly occupied with same spin. Okay, it is singly occupied with same spin. So pairing of electron can happen only after the orbitals, after each orbital in a degenerate or in the degenerate subshell is singly occupied with same spin. It's singly occupied with same spin. Okay, so what does this mean? What does this mean? For example, we have a subshell 2p. We have the subshell 2p, and there has to be filled 3 electrons here. Okay, there has to be filled 3 electrons here. So there are many ways. Okay, please listen. Don't write anything. There are many ways by which I can write this 2p3. Okay, I need some more space like this. 2p3. So the options are, let me make once the orbitals. Okay, so yeah, you can either fill like this 1, 2, and 3. So how we are filling is that this is 1 electron, this is another electron with opposite spin, this is the 3rd electron. Okay, you can also have, let us erase these points. You can fill very randomly, right? You can fill randomly like this. You can fill like this, and like this. You can also fill I'm just giving you options. Okay, I'm just giving you options. How can you fill them? And then we will, then we will test all these options with the rule. Oh, it's neither 1B, neither not it as 1L. Okay, Abdul Wahid, I understand you don't. Please erase this. Okay, please erase this. Right. Orbitals and orbital diagram. You don't have to write anything. Okay, please listen first. Please listen first. Orbitals and orbital diagram. Abdul Wahid, especially you, please listen. For S orbital, for S subshell or orbital, for S subshell, how many orbital does S subshell has? How many orbitals are there for S? Abdul Wahid, how many orbitals are there for S subshell? I am not asking the value of azimuthal quantum number. I'm asking how many orbitals are there in S subshell. Please read the S subshell. We have just done this. Please read in your notes and tell me how many orbitals. Let me write this. Yes. So please understand the difference between them. Okay. S subshell, for S subshell, number of orbital is equal to 1. So we show that orbital as a square. Okay, as a square like this. This is the S orbital. Okay, this is the S orbital. Now, what do we name this? We name this 0 like this. Okay. Okay. Then for P subshell, let me copy this only. Right. For P, we will have 3. For P, we will have 3. And this will be the -1. This one box is one orbital. Okay. This will be 0. And this will be +1. Okay. Now, similarly, yeah, for D. For D subshell, not 6, 5 only. Now, for D, we have 5 only. For D subshell, we have 5 orbitals, right? So this will start with -2, -1, 0, +1, +2. Yeah. Similarly, for F, start with 7. Very good. Start with -3, -1. Sorry. 2, -1, 0, +1, +2, and +3. Now, in this subshell, we fill orbitals, electrons. Okay, filling of electrons. We fill electrons by either filling the boxes. The boxes, what does it mean? That is orbital. Okay. With half arrow, a single-headed arrow, or double-headed arrow. Single-headed arrow, how this will look? Okay, write this down. Single-headed arrow is like this. Okay. So you can either show the electron filling by this sign, or you can show by this sign. Okay. Now this and this are same thing. It's just the spin opposite. Okay. And here also you will have the similar kind of downspin like this. You can have the downspin like this, or downspin like this. So first write this. Let me know if you're done, okay? Okay, Shoaib is done. I'm waiting for Abdul Wahid. Both are done. Okay. Now listen to the example of 2p3. Okay. Now listen carefully to the example of 2p3. Don't write anything. I will give you ample amount of time to write 2p3. Now let me borrow this particular orbital because I cannot make similar kind once more. Let's see. Let me paste this here. There are various ways in which I can fill the electron. Okay, so please watch very carefully. I can fill the 3 electrons. There are 3 electrons here. Okay, now 2p3 means in the 2p subshell we will fill 3 electrons. So how many electrons can we fill? Maximum in the p subshell 6 electrons, but we will fill how much? We will fill 3 electrons because 3 is required. Okay, we will see some examples of electronic configuration just after this, and you will understand more clearly. Now here what I can do, I can fill like this: 1, 2, 3. Right? We have filled the 3 electrons. Yes, Shoaib, Abdul Wahid. Are you clear with this point? Yes, Shoaib and Abdul Wahid. What about Abdul Wahid? Yes, okay, very good. So 3 electrons, 1 electron, up spin, down spin. Then we have up spin. Okay. Then we have, let us say like this. Then let us say we can also fill like this. Let's suppose somebody is filling like this. Okay. Let's suppose somebody is filling like this. Let's suppose somebody is filling it like this. Okay. Now what we will do, Abdul Wahid and Shoaib, we will test all of these to the Hund's rule. What does the Hund's rule say? It says that pairing of electron takes place only after each orbital is singly occupied with same spin. With same spin. Okay, so that means these are the two conditions. It should be singly occupied and with same spin. Only after that we can start the pairing. Only after that we can start the pairing. Okay. Now, Abdul Wahid and Shoaib, can you please tell me about the first case? Is this possible? Yes or no? Is this possible? The first one? See what has happened. Okay, first, okay, tell me. This is -1, right? This is 0 and this is +1. Shoaib, you tell me, in the -1 orbital, are the electrons paired or they are unpaired or they are single? They are paired or single?
Single.
Yes, in the -1, in this one.
Yes, sir.
There is only 1 electron?
No, I mean paired.
अरे भाई तो आप तो एकदम उल्टा ही बोलते हैं. You always see the opposite. Okay, they are paired, right? Now, what is the Hertz rule saying? That pairing can only happen only after all the orbitals are singly occupied. Now tell me, in this subshell, are all the orbitals singly occupied? Yes or no? Are all the orbitals? See,
No,
there
not
are
all.
3 orbitals. No, no. So this is wrong. This is wrong. This cannot. So what it is violating? It is violating the violation. Whose violation is happening? Hunt's rule.
Hunt's rule.
Very good. Okay, Abdul Wahid, did you understand this? Please tell me yes or no. Yes, Abdul Wahid. Yes, okay. Now, Shoaib, what about the second one?
Second one, say wrong.
The second one has, it is wrong. It has one more problem. What is the problem? The problem is that, as we can see, that this particular orbital which we have, this orbital here, it has 2 electrons with same spin, right? But what did Pauli said? Pauli said that an orbital can contain only 2 electrons with opposite spin. Orbital can contain only 2 electrons. So 2 electrons, that's fine. Yeah, it is containing 2 electrons, but they are in the same spin. That is why it is also violating the, it is also paired, and it is also violating the Hunt's rule and the Pauli's rule, both the rules. Okay, so this is also wrong. It is violating Hunt and Pauli. Okay, both the rules it is violating. What about the third one? It has the same case because the spins are not opposite. All the spins are downspin in the first orbital. That is why we will say that it is also violating the, it's also violating Hertz and as well as Pauli. Now, what about the fourth one? See, in the fourth one, the first orbital is fine. It has singly occupied. Pairing is not done. But the second orbital pairing has been done. Now, this is not very good because we have this orbital which is left, right? This orbital is left. It does not have any electron, right? It does not have any electron. It is like it is like one of the friends has married, the others are single. So that is not a very stable configuration, right? That is not a very stable configuration. So what we will say, it is also violating the Bro code. No, not the Bro code. It is violating the Hunt's rule. Now the fifth one is fine. All are singly occupied. This is singly occupied. This is singly occupied. This is singly occupied. So they all are in the same level. They all are happy. They all are happy. That is why this is right. That is why this is right. What about the sixth one? Now, sixth one, sometimes student confused. They think that the first electron that we are filling, the first electron that we are filling, that should be always top spin. That should have up. It means because up, it seems very logical. Up, up, fit down, fit up, fit down. It seems logical, but no. We'll have to apply the Hunt's rule. Hunt's rule says that pairing of electron happen? No, it did not happen. Now, then I will ask that, are the electrons singly occupied? Yes, they are singly occupied. Then I will ask, are they occupied with the same spin? Yes, they are occupied with the same spin also. Although it is a down spin, but that doesn't matter because Hunt is saying that all should be in the same spin. That is why this is also true. Okay. Abdul Wahid and Shoaib, please tell me, did you understand these points? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now just to test you, I am giving you a question and you will tell me whether this is valid or invalid, okay? Write this down, okay? After that, tell the answer for the seventh one. Whether that particular order is right or wrong. What about Abdul Wahid? What do you think? Is the seventh one right or wrong? Okay. So Shreya will answer me. Shreya, tell me, is any of the orbitals paired? Yes or no? Is any of the orbitals paired? We have three orbitals now. So does anyone has pairing or it is singly occupied?
Single, sir.
Singly, right? Singly occupied. Now, whenever it is singly occupied, then you will check whether all of them have same spin, yes or no. Do they have same spin?
No,
So this
sir.
one is
Only the middle.
no, na? No, na, they don't have same spin. That is why this will be wrong. This is not right. This is wrong. Why? Because they should have same spin. Yes. So they don't have same spin, na? Got it?
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes, got
Okay.
it.
So first you will see whether there is pairing. Now, if pairing is there, you will get two answers, yes, or you will get no. Now, if you get yes, then you will check are others filled. Okay, are others filled. Now, if you get no pairing is not done, that means it is singly occupied. After that, you will check are all in same spin or not. Are all in same spin. If you get the answer from here, yes, then it is fine. If you get the answer here, no, then it is not valid. Are the others filled? Are the others filled? Then you will say, you will get two answers, yes or no. Okay, yes or no. And are others filled? Yes, then it is right. If no, then it is wrong. So let us start with this here. We have pairing here in the first one. Okay, we have pairing. Yes, we have pairing. So we are here. Are others filled? No. That means it is wrong. Second one. Put the second one to the test here. Pairing. Yes or no? Yes, pairing is there. Are others filled? No. And also because it is violating. So this is only for Hunt's rule. Okay. So polys, you can see that it is having the same spin. The third also will not be valid, right? Pairing. Yes. Are others filled? No. Fourth one. Is the pairing done? Yes, pairing is there. Wherever there is pairing, you identify that. Pairing is yes. Pairing is. Are others filled? No, that is why it is wrong. Fifth one, is pairing done? No, pairing is not done. Are all in same spin? Yes, that is why it is right. Sixth one, pairing is done? No. Are all in same spin? Yes, that is why it is right. Seventh one, is pairing done? Yes or no? No. Are all in same spin? No, that is why it is wrong. So can you follow this flow chart for pairing? Yes or no? Please tell me.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
this
Yes,
is
sir.
easy. Yeah, this is easy. Okay, this is easy. So I hope you must have written all these. And then after that, let us write a note here. This rule explains the spelling of electron in degenerate orbitals. In degenerate orbitals. Done, guys? Yes or no? The shape is done. Waiting for Abdul Wahid. Okay. Write a question. Which of the following representations are valid? Which of the following representations are valid? We have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay. So from A to G, please send the answers in chat. Please don't be in a hurry. Okay, that's only a suggestion that I can give. There is also one more hint that I can give is that please use your brain. The other is that don't be in a hurry. Now let us extend that flowchart that we made. Okay. First, we will look at pairing. First, we will look at pairing. So whether it is paired, yes, it is paired. Then you will look, are others spelled? Then you will get two answers. No, then obviously it is wrong. Yes, the serpent, then you will see. Same spin. I mean, are the others, they have same spin? Then also you can get two answers. Yes or no. If it is yes, then it is right. If it is no, then it is wrong. Is pairing done? No. Then you will ask, are the others, they are filled with same spin? Then you will get two answers, yes or no. Then you will do what? If it is yes, that is right. If it is no, that is it is wrong. Okay. So pairing, yes or no. So in the first question, let us see. Okay. In the first question, let us see. Shoaib, you will help me here. Okay. Shoaib, you will help me. Please tell me in the first question, Shoaib. Is there any pairing? Yes or no? Please turn the mic on and tell me. Is there any pairing? Yes or no? Shoaib, are you there? Arey bhai.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Is there any pairing? Yes or no? In the first question, is there, in the A question, is there any pairing?
No, sir.
No pairing. Okay. Now, the other, those who have not been paired, are they filled in the same spin or different spin? Are they filled in the same spin? These two electrons? Yes, Shoaib. Abdul Wahid, you can also answer in the chat.
No, sir.
Yes, Shoaib.
No, not.
They are not filled in the same spin, right? So that is why this is wrong. What about B?
Yes.
They are filled in the same spin. What about C? So there is only one electron. So obviously it is correct. The same spin, right?
Correct.
Now what about D?
Yes.
Now in the D, yes, right? Because we will first go, are the pairing is done? Yes, pairing is done. Are others filled? Yes, the others are filled. Are the others which are filled, they are in the same spin? Yes, they are in the same spin. That is why this is correct. Now E part, is pairing done? Tell me, yes or no? Is pairing done? Yes or no? Pairing is done. In E part. See, the pairing is done, no?
Yes, yes, pairing is done.
Pairing is done, no? In E part, pairing is done. Okay. Now, now pairing is done. Are others filled? Yes or no? Are the other orbitals filled? Yes or no?
No.
Arey bhai, kaise no? How it is no? This is so filled, na? Can you not see it is filled? These electrons are there, they are filled, na? Yes, Shoaib, it is filled.
Yes, yes, sir.
It is filled. You don't have to see the order. Hunt never said what will be the order. Okay, all these orbitals are same. All these orbitals are same. So that is why I am giving you all types of examples here. Okay, all types of examples. So you can fill the electrons in the second also. Now, if they are filled, are they in the same spin? Yeah, they are in the same spin. This is also top spin. This is also top spin. Okay, yes, true. This is right. What about the F1? Is this paired? Yes, it is paired. Is it same spin? Yeah, it is same spin. Then for G also, see, for G also, is it paired? No, it is not paired. It is in the same spin? Yeah, it is in the same spin. You don't have to look at the order, okay? You don't have to look at the order. This G is equivalent to the B, okay? The B and the G are same. They are not different. They are same. So please write this. Let me know if you're done. Please write this down. Raise your hand if you're done. Okay, guys, raise your hand if you're done. Then we will move to electronic configuration, okay? So the class is almost over, okay? The class will be almost over. We will do a few electronic configuration. Then the main part of electronic configuration we will do on the next class, okay? The main part of electronic configuration, that is with noble gases, we will do in the next term. Sorry, next term. Sorry. Next class. We will do that in the next class. But as of now, okay, just waiting for Shoaib now. So Shoaib, let me know if you're done. I think he's done. Now, write the electronic configuration of following. So we'll start with a simple one, sodium. Okay, we'll start with a simple one, A part. Let us start with even more simple. Okay, that is hydrogen. Let us start with hydrogen. If I have hydrogen, then hydrogen has the atomic number. How much? The atomic number for hydrogen is 1. Okay, hydrogen atomic number is 1. Now, these electrons will be filled where? In the lowest energy subshell. In the lowest energy subshell. How will you find the lowest energy subshell? You have the formula. The formula is Ns, N minus 2F, N minus 1D, NP. Okay, hydrogen has only 1 electron. So we'll start with 1s. Now, 1s can have how many electrons? S subshell can have 2 electrons. And how many electrons does hydrogen have? 1 electron. So obviously, yeah, it can accommodate 1 electron. So I will write 1s1, 1s1. And for B, let us say you have helium. Helium will be 2 electrons. So 1s, and the 2 electrons will go on the S subshell because 2s can hold how many? 2 electrons. Now for the C part, let us listen here, okay? Third is lithium. We will start with 1s. And S, can it hold 3 electrons? No, it cannot hold 3 electrons. So how many electrons will we fill? Well, we will fill 2 electrons. And after that, what will happen next? What is the next subshell? The next subshell is 2p. Okay, this is the energy levels, right? Energy order of the subshell, 1s, 2s. Sorry, not 2p, 2s. Really sorry for this. This will be 2s. Okay, 2s, 1. 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, 4s, 3d, 4p, right? Then you have 5s, 4d, 5p. Then, for example, let us now take a bigger one. Not 10, 11 for sodium. Yes, Shoaib, you will tell me. We'll start with which subshell? We have to fill 11 electrons. So we'll start with the lowest energy. What is the lowest energy subshell? Shoaib. It is very similar to 281. Okay, it is very similar to 281. You first start writing 2, then you write 8, then you write 1. Correct? Yes, I think Shoaib is not here. So no, if you're not here, then I cannot see anything. For sodium, what I can write? Abdul Wahid, can you please turn the mic on? Yes, Abdul Wahid. There is some child in your room. I can hear him very clearly, but I cannot hear your voice. Why is that? I can hear, but it is very faint, but I can hear the voice of the chat very clearly. Why is that? Okay, so for sodium, we will start with what subshell? Tell me. Yes, Abdul Wahid. What subshell? One S. Okay, we will start with 1s. That will have 2 electrons. After 1s comes 2s. That will have only 2 electrons. Then after that, it comes 2p. That will hold 6 electrons. After that will come 3s. It will hold 1 electron because 11 is done. So this has filled 10 electrons here. We have to just fill 1 electron. Okay, we have to just fill 1 electrons. Now, please remember you got this? Please write for nickel 20. Okay. Let us write for 15 phosphorus. Yeah, Abdul Wahid, just let me know if you're done, then I will write the answer. And after that, you can check whether it is right or not. Okay. Just let me know if you're done. Okay, so I'm writing the answer here. Did you write the same order? Yeah. Okay. Fine. That's great then. Okay. That's great then. I will give you a few homeworks now. Okay. I will give you a few homeworks. Please write.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Sumi.
Sir, the nickel one, it says 15, yeah. But
Nickel is
here I count 12. Like 1s2,
nickel one?
2s2, 2p3. Here, the 15, electron 15.
Yeah. 15 electrons. Huh? So 2 electrons are filled, 4, and okay, 2p6. This will be 6. Sorry. Yeah, this will be 6, not 2p3. By mistake, I wrote 2p3. Okay, this will be 2p6. No, it's fine.
Yes. Yes, sir. It's,
Yes.
it's fine.
So 5 questions. Okay. And you have to send the image. Click an image of the answer. Okay. Send image to Nishkash sir. By tomorrow. Okay. You have to send it tomorrow. Tomorrow you have a holiday, right? School also holiday, tuition also holiday. Yes. So by tomorrow, if you don't send, then I will ask Nishkash sir to ask you once again.
Sir, can I send?
Sorry, Shreyas?
I sent
What
today.
Yeah, you can also send today. That's fine if you send today. Okay. Okay, then you practice this much, then we will meet next time on Tuesday, okay? So please read these all things, okay? Whatever we have studied till now, please read them. We are almost going to end the quantum numbers and the electronic configuration, which will be used till the 12th standard, okay? The whole chemistry is behind this electronic configuration. So please, you have to master it, okay? There is no choice here. You have to master it, okay? The first 4 chapters, no? The first 4 chapters of class 11, some basic concepts, atomic structure, periodicity, then chemical bonding. These chapters are so crucial that if you are weak in any one of those, that will be haunting you in some later chapters. If your basic concepts is weak, it will be haunting in states of matter, chemical equilibrium, thermodynamics. Then in class 12, solid state, solution, electrochemistry, chemical kinetics, okay? So many of the chapters are dependent on the first chapter. Similarly, in your atomic structure, quantum numbers basically, then periodicity and chemical bonding. These 3 chapters, they are influencing the chapters as S block, P block, then P block in 12th standard, and P block in 12th standard, then coordination chemistry, coordination compounds, okay? So please master each of these things, and most important is